49ers faithful, take a deep breath. Today brings plot twists, heavy backstage moves, and a decision that could change the course of the season. A veteran no one saw coming might become a key piece. A fan favorite is shifting the board. Our offensive engine is hinting at a monster year, and there's an outside evaluation that's about to light up the locker room. Which of these storylines actually changes everything? Astonished, you won't believe what we've got today. So sit tight, drop a like, and let's dive right in. Hold that emotion, because the biggest surprise might not be the one you think. Amid all the talk about banged-up receivers, a worn-down run game, and the defensive line rotation, almost no one addressed the elephant in the room, the back end. From day one of training camp, Robert Saleh made it clear the competition at safety is wide open, and few things make a fan base more anxious than uncertainty on the last line of defense. Add in Malik Mustafa, starting the season on the PUP list, and you understand why every snap in the secondary is under a microscope. Suddenly, a helping hand appeared from the last place you'd expect. In Foxborough, the New England Patriots moved on from an explosive, smart veteran who's ready to play impact snaps. The move surprised the league, but for the 49ers, it sounds like a rare chance to address, in September, a weakness that threatened to become an Achilles heel. We're talking about Jabril Peppers. At 29-30 in October, he brings 99 career games, 511 tackles, 7 interceptions, and 35 pass breakups, plus the versatility to play in the box, work as a robber, or drop deep. More importantly, Saleh studied him closely for 3 seasons while coaching the Jets and game planning twice a year for New England. He knows exactly where Peppers shines and how to protect him when needed. Yes, injuries and a turbulent 2024 happened. That's precisely why sliding him into a defense with familiar language and clearly defined roles could maximize what he still offers. In this context, the upgrade is obvious. Jason Pinnock arrived to be a key piece. Jair Brown needs to rediscover his upward curve, and rookie Marquez Sigel is impressing with quick processing. But playing 60 NFL minutes is a different game. Peppers would let you rebalance the room, free Pinnock for more deep safety snaps, give Brown situational duties, and onboard Sigel at the right speed. On top of that, he raises the margin for error, while Mustafa rehabs and speeds up the back-end communication that makes the whole system hum. Financially, it works if the deal is incentive-heavy with minimal guarantees. Football-wise, the message is even stronger. Win now. While rivals wait to see how it goes, San Francisco can rip the problem out at the root before week 1. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. Time to act with no fear. Just when you thought secondary concerns were enough to keep you up at night, another pressure point hits the offense. The Jennings saga is entering its final chapters, not because both sides found middle ground, but because the clock is ticking and the season is at the door. The wideout, elevated by Ayuk's injury and virtually indispensable to Brock Purdy, isn't just aiming to start, he wants to be paid like a star. Word behind the scenes is that Jennings asked for more than $20 million per year. That's right. The same shelf as names like Davante Adams and Stephon Diggs. The front office isn't convinced. After spending big on Ayuk last year and regretting it, the franchise doesn't want another heavy deal that backfires. The issue, they need Jennings on the field for the opener against the Seahawks, and his absence from most of camp, combined with a calf issue, only fuels speculation. Is the injury tied to the contract standoff? Plenty believe Jennings could miraculously be 100% if the right check lands on the table. The impact goes far beyond money. Without Jennings, Purdy would lean on Ricky Pearsall, still acclimating and a patchwork cast. George Kittle would carry even more of the load, and McCaffrey would likely have to take on expanded receiving duties, which is risky for long-term health. The fan base is split. Some see Jennings as indispensable and want the front office to open the wallet. Others fear getting locked into a contract that cramps the future. The truth is, Jennings has leverage because the WR room is depleted. The brass knows the opener could turn ugly without him, especially in a divisional showdown. They also know a rushed agreement could compromise planning for 2026 and beyond. It's a high-stakes dilemma. And while we're trying to figure out whether Jennings will line up on Sunday or sit in the agent's office, a name pops up that sparks hope and concern at the same time. If there's one name that still draws a collective sigh of confidence amid the chaos, it's Christian McCaffrey. After a 2024 derailed by serious injuries, bilateral Achilles tendonitis and a sprained PCL, No. 23 looks ready to reclaim the title of the league's best running back. And it's not just me saying it, Kyle Shanahan was emphatic. He's primed for a hell of a year. Music to our ears, but also a warning. McCaffrey is 29, and we all know how that age weighs on his position. The line between brilliance and burnout is razor thin. Even if Shanahan sees the same fast, agile, relentless CMC, prudence demands caution. He was the Offensive Player of the Year in 2023, but injury history doesn't magically vanish. The question is how far the team can push him without draining the tank. it gets even thornier when you scan the passing game. Ayuk isn't expected back until mid-October. Jennings is locked in a contract standoff. Rookies Jacob Cowing and Jordan Watkins are sidelined. At this moment, Purdy trusts Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, and of course McCaffrey. The dependency is obvious. With no established WR depth, CMC won't only be asked to run, he'll likely be a frequent receiving target, hiking the risk of overload. Shanahan tried to soften that with Brian Robinson Jr., but we know how this goes when the game is on the line. The ball finds the player the fan base trusts, and that player is Christian McCaffrey. Even with every precaution, the coach may not resist leaning on him as the primary escape valve. The fan base is torn between exhilaration and apprehension. Many get chills picturing a fully healthy McCaffrey carrying the team. Others fear that piling on too much responsibility is the perfect recipe to replay the 2024 nightmare. One way or another, the 49ers season may orbit around the durability of one player who's already shown he can change everything by himself. And if McCaffrey's health already stirs debate, wait until you hear what rival executives are saying about the franchise's future. It's time to hit a topic simmering around the NFL that strikes right at the 49ers faithful's pride: how rival execs view this team's future. According to Jeff Howe of The Athletic, there's an uncomfortable consensus. Many doubt San Francisco can keep elite talent around Brock Purdy after his big extension. Their logic is straightforward. Heavy contracts have already squeezed the cap, forcing Deebo Samuel's exit, and the pinch gets even tighter in 2028 when Purdy's cap hit explodes to a staggering $57.6 million. The subtext is clear. With less wiggle room, the roster gets less star-studded and more fragile every time someone gets hurt. To twist the knife, some rivals suggest the team's success isn't about Purdy at all. It's just the pieces around him. That narrative has holes. Anyone who remembers how Jimmy Garoppolo and Nick Mullins operated with the same receivers knows Purdy is a driving force. He elevated Ayuk, turned Jennings into a reliable weapon, and now gets a chance to accelerate Ricky Pearsall, who's already flashing WR1 traits while the roster drama sorts itself out. If Pearsall hits, it's more proof the 49ers front office can find difference-makers in the draft without throwing billion-dollar free agency haymakers. There's another angle rivals seem to ignore: the defense. Robert Saleh is back in his wheelhouse as defensive coordinator, and that already lifts the locker room's mood. Unlike what we saw under Wilks and Sorensen, expectations are for sharper adjustments, cleaner communication, and a clear, aggressive identity. The league is eager to see how Saleh reboots a unit that stumbled at the end of 2024. With him, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and company can start dictating game flow again. And there's a spicy twist from Seattle. The Seahawks are being tagged as a bigger threat than most expect, and the opener is a divisional clash right out of the gate. Leave rivalry, patched-up roster, outside pressure, perfect ingredients to turn Week 1 into a brutally honest thermometer of what this San Francisco team really is. While the world doubts the 49ers' ability to sustain a contender, the message inside the building is different. Everyone wants to prove Purdy not only deserves the deal but can be the QB who leads a modern-day dynasty. It's been a whirlwind stretch for the 49ers faithful, a potential instant fix at safety with Jabril Peppers, maximum tension around Jacoan Jennings' contract, the hope and risk of Christian McCaffrey powering the offense again, and the outside noise from rivals questioning whether this team can keep a championship-caliber roster around Brock Purdy. What does it all tell us? That 2025 will be a trial by fire. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these situations will define the season? Drop a comment, smash that like button, and subscribe to the channel.